Okay guys, so it's day 2 of the apocalypse, day 2 of isolation. So I had to pop to the supermarket this morning to try and get a puppy for my YouTube videos. It was absolute chaos in there, it was like a scene from Mad Max. Plus it's Mother's Day, so everyone's a bit stressed, anxiety levels are high, so I thought we'd do a bit of a restorative yoga. Chill out, de-stress and detox. So plenty of water. God, that's strong. That needs more tonic. And I'll see you 5 on the mat. Okay guys, so what will you need for today's practice? Yourself, your mat, your water, blocks. If you haven't got blocks, I know something you have got. You've all got shitloads of these, literally. So you can always use your bog roll as a block. Supreme comfort. How's it going later? So as always, any form of exercise, please listen to your body, only give what you feel you can give. If it hurts, if it pulls, if it doesn't feel right, then please don't do it. Your body's full of proprioceptors, it's your body's feedback mechanism. Listen to your body always, and I'll see you on the mat. Okay guys, if you want to get yourself comfortable, easy seated pose or Sukhasana. If your knees are higher than your hips, I'd sit on a block. I'm going to sit on a block, it's just a little bit more comfortable. So shoulders back and down away from the ears. Just get comfortable, create some length in your spine, and just breathe fully and deeply. If you want to add a mudra, index finger, thumb, 3 fingers extended, and just breathe into the nose, fill your lungs, right up into that clavicular breath, hold, and as you breathe out through the nose, just let it go. Let go of any stress and tension. Hold the bottom of your breath, and before it becomes stressful, breath in. And release. So consciously just letting go. Focus on your breath. You pause on whatever drama's playing out in your head. A few more breaths. So push that belly button out into your thoracic, and then squeeze what you can in, that top of your breath, that clavicular breath. Stretch those lungs and release. So whilst you're breathing in, you can start to look up and just start to add your cervical spine and chin to chest. Keep going. One more. And relax. And keep your chin on your chest and just roll over to the right. So don't lift your shoulders. Feel that stretch down the left hand side of your neck. And breathe other side. Hold. And release. Back to the centre, and chin parallel to the floor. So make sure you create that length in your spine. Hands on your knees, and as you breathe in now, it's going to come forward slightly, look up, and as you breathe out, chin to chest and flex the spine part, scabs. So a little bit of a seated cat-cow. Puff out that chest, and then round the back, part the scabs. A few more. Just purely breathing into the nose and out to the nose is very cathartic in itself. Very relaxing, perhaps puts us in a more parasympathetic state. Last one. And back to centre. And just walk your right hand out to the side, spider fingers as I call it, so as little contact as possible. If you need to bring your hand to the floor, it's fine. Keep your sit bones on your block or on the floor, and as you breathe in, just take your left arm up and over, stretch and lengthen. And as you breathe out, just see if you can sink a little more. Keep the sit bones on the mat. Externally rotate through that left shoulder. Few breaths. So we'll hold all these asanas 3 to 5 breaths, whatever works for you. To your practice, you could stretch them out longer. One more breath prior to home. And as you breathe out, bring your raised arm to the opposite knee and just straighten your spine. Level up, take a breath in. And as you breathe, we'll add a twist. So look over your right shoulder. Get a little bit of gentle purchase on your thigh, on your right thigh there, and breathe. Don't be scared when you breathe in to fill your lungs. Feel that expansion in your chest, stretch the intercostal muscles, squeeze the internal organs. And as you breathe out, can you go a little bit deeper, a little bit further? Constantly finding that edge. One more in-breath prior to home. And as you come back, keep your left hand on your knee and bring the other hand over the opposite knee. Bend the elbows 90 degrees. And then take your left palm to your right wrist or palm or whatever works and lift. Eagle arms. So lift the elbows as high as feels comfortable and push the elbows away from your shoulders and breathe. Feel that stretch in your shoulders. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, just bow to the earth. And breath in rises. And as you breathe out, let's rotate to the right. Breath to centre. And the other side. And breath to centre. And release. Just roll through those shoulders. And reverse direction. So to the other side, you switch legs, always equal and opposite. Just be mindful, get comfortable. And this time left arm, spider fingers, hips level and square. As you breathe in, right arm up and over. And as you breathe out, just see if you can sink a little deeper. Stretch and lengthen. Relax the shoulders away from your ears. And breathe into the space you've created there on your right hand side. Consciously reach, reach, reach. Into the nose and out to the nose. One more breath prior to home. And as you breathe out, the upper arm comes to your left knee. And as you breathe in, level up. And as you breathe out, this time look over your left shoulder. Few breaths. Fill your lungs, feel that stretch. You might feel a little uncomfortable. And as you breathe out, can you go a little further, a little deeper into that rotation? breath prior to hum. And as you breathe, we move. Keep your right hand on your left knee and bring your opposite hand to opposite knee. And again, bend the elbows 90 degrees, thereabouts. And this time you're going to bring your left hand to your opposite palm. Lift as high as is comfortable. Push the elbows away from your shoulders, so not just up, but away. Feel that stretch through your shoulders, eagle arms. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, bow to the earth. And breath in rises. And sliding off my blocking. And as you breathe out, rotate over to the left. To centre. And the other side. To centre. And release. Roll through those shoulders. And reverse direction. So just take our head over to the right hand side, so relax those shoulders and just gently relax the neck over to one side. Get comfortable. Feel that stretch, and then just gently listen to your body. You could take your right hand and just gently let the weight deepen that stretch. The weight of the hand, the arm, just gently increasing the stretch. Listen to your body. If it hurts, if it pulls, don't do it. If you're feeling good, you could increase just a little bit more tension. Just relax the shoulder, feel that stretch. And release. And now twist and look at your shoulder. Deep breath in. And release. And the other side. Relax the shoulders, just listen to your body. So as you breathe in, you listen to your body, how does it feel? And is your body inviting you to go a little deeper? If it is, brilliant. If not, respect your body, be kind to yourself. Always. Get rid of some of the stress and tension in your shoulders and neck. It might cause headaches, stress headaches, tension. But don't overdo it, don't force it. Deep breath. And release, and then twist to look at your shoulder. Try and keep your shoulders level and square, guys. I've got a damaged shoulder, so I'm not a good example. Deep breath in and back to home. So we're here going to come forward into our tabletop position. So I'm just going to temporarily lose the block. Forward into tabletop. And I'm just going to reposition. Grab the fingers, middle finger straight forward. Eyes of your elbows towards each other. Everything stacked straight under your shoulders. Knees hip width apart. And as you breathe in, hollow lower back, look up, feel that stretch in your belly. And as you breathe out, chin to chest, lift up through the heart, curl the tailbone through and under, look at your rolls of fat. And as you breathe, bum, mid back, upper back, shoulders, head. And again, heart in the scaps. Push the floor away, look to your navel. And again. So whilst we're doing this, you can start to bring your weight just gently forward over your wrists, start to mobilise through the wrists. You go at your pace, not mine. You add a little bit of softness to your elbows and start to exaggerate and move. And big toes together. Spread the knees as far as it's comfortable and just walk the arms out into your child's pose. Move around and you can kiss the floor with your forehead, whatever works for you. And what I always say to my students is you could choose to find the peace in your asana, or you could find the fluidity in the movement. I like to, it depends on your frame of mind, how you're feeling. Just stretch and lengthen. Deep breath in, we're going to walk the arms over to the right. So as you breathe, just paddle the hands, keep the hips as level and square as possible, and just go as far as you can. Keep the thumbs in line. This way you're going to feel more of a stretch now down that left hand side, and just breathe into the space you've created there. A little bit further. One more breath, or however many you want, and paddle your hands back. Stretching and lengthening, walking the hands. Take a moment, breathe. And in your own time, we'll do the other side. Paddling your hands. Keep the thumbs in line. This way you're going to feel more of a stretch now down your right hand side. And then breathe into the ribs and that space you created. And if your mind wanders, just bring it back to your breath. One more breath prior to home. And walk them back, stretching and lengthening and reaching. And back into your tabletop position. So this time we're going to go a little bit deeper into the shoulders. So keeping your hips directly over your knees. Remember, you can always double the mat under your knees if you need to protect your patellas. I've got 2 mats and a carpet, so you might have a hard floor. So you just pull the edges of your mat in. And start to walk your hands away as far as feels comfortable. Keeping your hips over your knees. Stretch and lengthen to a puppy press, puppy pose. Just hang on the shoulders. If you've got the flexibility, you could perhaps bring your chest to the floor. You may not be mobile enough for that just yet anyway. Don't load the cervical spine. If you want to kiss the floor with your forehead, you can, but just don't load the neck. And you'll feel this in your shoulders. So try and relax to the shoulders. So always try and bring the eyes of your elbows towards each other, just to open up the shoulders. The triceps will extend and rotate, so just open to the shoulders. And walk it back in. So if you want to go deeper still, you could grab a couple of blocks. If you've got any books, whatever you've got, shoulder width apart, you can always use your hands as a guide. Elbows and blocks. Hands in prayer position and just sink into your shoulders. just breathe. And release. You can stay there for as long as you want to. Stay there for 5 minutes if you wanted to. Okay team, tuck the toes. You just want to sit back onto your heels and just feel that stretch through your toes. You might want to mobilise through your wrists whilst you're here. If this isn't comfortable on your toes, then don't do it. It's a nice toe stretch. And if it's starting to get uncomfortable, release the toes. So back into your tabletop position and just walk your hands forward, maybe a hand's length. Sit back. You could be in your child's pose actually, it's probably going to be about where your hands want to be. Take a deep breath. And as you breathe, roll up, flex the spine, elbows in, and just bring yourself to the floor. Bit of a tricep press. So elbows want to be stacked over your wrists. I'm stuck for room here. Remove my blocks. Stretch and lengthen to the arms, elbows in, hands under shoulders. And then just think about peeling your head, neck and shoulders off the floor. So roll the shoulders back and down. And rather than pushing the floor away, just peel your head, neck and shoulders off the floor into a low cobra. And breath out. Let's do a few more. So you can feel this in your lower back. One more and hold. And release. So maybe walk your fingers a little further out, a little further forward, and come up onto your fingertips maybe. So you're not using too much force. And let's go again a little bit higher. So as you breathe in, peel head, neck and shoulders, and just see if you can come a little bit higher. Relax those shoulders back and down away from the ears, shine that heart forwards. And release. So modify your hand positions if you need to. If you want to come onto your palms, you can. Whatever works. Come to a bit of a seal pose. And just find where you're comfortable. So you're going to feel compression in your lower back, and you're going to feel a stretch all your belly. Take a deep breath here. And as you breathe, just look over the right. And breath to center. And the other side. And breathe. A few more. One more. And release. And push back temporarily to your child's pose. So big toes together, knees wide, stretch and lengthen that release in your spine. You breathe in, flex, come up. Elbows in, that tricep dip if you wish. It's a bit of a half chaturanga. Breath in, peel your chest off the floor. And breath out, push back. Tuck the toes, take a deep breath. And as you breathe out, pull navel to spine, lift for your downward facing dog. So we're looking for an inverted V. You can paddle your feet, take the dog for a walk. feet hip width apart, hands shoulder width apart, middle finger normally straight forward, but if you tighten the shoulders, you might want to take your middle finger towards the corner of your mat and try and get the eyes of your elbows towards each other and just release through your shoulders, head, neck in neutral. If you haven't got a flat back, you've got tight hamstrings, you might want to bend your knees, it's fine. Move around. People get so wrapped up in where their heels should be. Does it really matter as long as you can feel it in the back of your legs? If you can get your heels to the floor, then take your legs a little further back. It really doesn't matter as long as you're feeling it. It's your practice. There's no ego in yoga. Anyone tells you otherwise, tell them to go back to principles. So at any point you need a break, you could drop the knees into your child's pose. But for now, we're going to go to high plank. Let's just bend those knees. So take a breath. And as you breathe, just add a squat. Pushing the floor away. Pushing your belly towards your thighs. And as you breathe, let's straighten. And as you breathe, let's go again. A few more. And hold. So from here we're going to plank. So take a breath. And release. And breathe. So high plank. So spread those fingers. If you need to drop the knees, feel free. Tuck that tailbone towards the heels of your hands. And push back to your modified down dog. And again, breathe. And breathe. Breathe. And breathe. And from here you could drop your knees and take a cheeky break into your child's pose. So this time I'm going to come from your downward facing dog down to cobra, and then we're going to start to go into your full upward facing dog if that's what works for you. So tuck the toes, knees hip width apart, spread those fingers, take a breath, and as you breathe, navel in and up, give yourself some lift, paddle those feet. And just give me your best version of you. I've got injuries, so my postures aren't perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. So you go up into high plank, so you push off with the toes, roll through the spine, and take it back. Let's do that again. Push off, roll through the spine, high plank. Think stacking. And push back. One last time. And this time I'm going to come to the floor. So kinder option, drop the knees, elbows in, 90 degrees in the elbows. You can come all the way to the floor. I'm stuck for room here. And up into your cobra. Wherever that is. Could be low cobra, high cobra. A little bit of softness in the elbows, relax those shoulders, and as you breathe out, tuck the toes, and down facing dog. Take the dog for a walk. So this time, harder option is full chaturanga dandasana, but we don't use the knees, so it's up to you to choose. So same again, push off. As you breathe out, body's as straight as a board. Elbows 90 degrees, the shoulders in line with the elbows. Stack the feet, or release the feet. Breath in, full upward facing dog. So this time I'm in contact with the floor, with the earth, is your palms and the tops of your feet. So the thighs are now off the floor. Shoulders, pretty much stacked, but they shouldn't be further forward of your fingers. So when you transition from Chaturanga Dandasana, you have a tendency to come forward. This is why I step my feet back when I transition. Take a deep breath. And as you breathe, step feet, navel into spine, lift and push back. Let's do that a couple more times. So you choose your version. Half Chaturanga, full Chaturanga. Deep breath. Breath out. Step feet. Breath in, Cobra, or full upward facing dog. Breath out, step feet, navel in and up. Paddle your feet. And release. Child's pose. So you know your down dog. You've chosen Cobra or full upward facing dog. So we'll do a little bit of power yoga, just lunges, that's all. We're going to load those lunges, and then when we transition you can choose one of those options, whatever works for you. So big toes together, knees wide, we were in our child's pose. Bring the knees in, step the toes, we're going up into our downward facing dog. Get comfortable, find your version of downward facing dog. Breath in, right leg rises, three-legged dog. And as you breathe, take that raised knee to the elbow on the same side, dog leg. Quite powerful. As you breathe, return, three-legged dog. And this time as you breathe, across the midline to the other elbow, or wrist, or whatever works. And as you breathe, return to home. And this time, straight down the middle, push off with the back toe, flex the spine, and bring your foot to the floor. So feet are hip width apart. Get comfortable. You can drop your rear knee for now, and untuck the back toes. So we'll start here initially. So just going to load this position with a bit of weight. We'll use our arms along with the levers, a bit more weight. So take a breath. And as you breathe, just take your right arm, sort of 45 degrees, thereabouts, quite easy. If you want to add on, take another breath. And add the other arm, a little bit harder. So aim to get the torso sort of 45 degrees, arms nice and long, shoulders relaxed. And breathe. You can feel this probably in your glute, front glute. Three to five breaths. Last one. And release. So just straighten that front leg, listen to your body. I'm going to grab your blocks or your loo rolls, whatever works. So make sure your other knee's under your hip, feet hip width apart. Flex your front ankle for a deeper stretch. If you want to go deeper still, hinge from the hips. So rather than flexing the spine, hinge from the hips, and just going to start to recruit a little bit more hamstring as it attaches to your sit bone. So as you add that anterior tilt of the pelvis, it's going to stretch it a little bit more. So not leaning too heavy on your blocks, and just stretch that hamstring. Deep breath and release. Rebend that front leg. Temporarily lose your blocks. Actually, they're to hand. So this time adding on, I'm going to go a little bit deeper. So if you want to, lose the rear knee and tuck your back toe and lift the leg. So legs nice and engaged, nice and straight. Push that heel down towards the floor. And we'll do it again. So you can do one arm then the other arm, or both. So I'm going to go straight for both. So take a breath. And as you leave, push the floor away. Bring the arms in. And the lower you come, the harder it's going to be. 3 to 5 breaths. One more breath. And release. From here, stay where you are and just step your back leg in enough that you can get your rear heel to the floor. So rear heel to the floor, straighten your front leg. You're going to feel it. If you want to block, feel free. And just feel that stretch in your front leg. So think about stacking your front arm under your shoulder. Take your left hand to your hip and just externally rotate, lift the ribs and your heart up to the sky. So I'm just going to reorientate so you can see me. So a partial block, you don't need to be too wide. Wide is going to be harder. And then if you want to, you could add your left arm, see if you can stack the arms. Relax the shoulder. Look down if you want grounding, look up, a little bit more challenging or neutral. Whatever works. Relax the fingers, no tension. 3 to 5 breaths. Trikonasana. Breathe into that space you've created there in your ribs. Deep breath in and close. And you can rebend that front leg back to the floor, and you can straighten it again just as before, or those of you who are super flexible, instead of half splits you could go into full splits if you want to. A bit hard for me on this carpet, but if you want to knock yourselves out, feel free. So we've got the other side to do, and then we'll have a bit of a chill. I think you'll have earned it by then. And rebend that front leg. So we're going to give it one more go, hands shoulder width apart, spread the fingers, lift the back knee, tuck the back toe, take a breath. And as you breathe, front foot joints back to plank. Take a breath here, check your positioning, elbows, etc. And as you breathe, push off with the toes. You can use your knees for chaturanga, elbows in, step the feet, cobra or full upward facing dog, whatever works for you. Roll our shoulders open to the chest. And as you breathe, step feet, pull navel in and up, give yourself some lift. And walk the dog. So this time, got the other side to do. So this time as you breathe, left leg rises. And as you breathe out, left knee to left elbow. You can always drop that back knee if you want to. Hold it for as long as it's comfortable, for as long as you can hold your breath. Breath into home. And across the midline to the opposite side. And breath into home, like it's slow. Straight down the middle as before, push off with the back toes, flex the spine, knee to chest, and bring or plant your foot to the floor. Feet hip width apart. No rush, enjoy it. And drop your rear knee and tuck your back toe. So again, one arm or both arms, or alternate, whatever works for you. I'm going to go straight into both. So take a breath, and both arms. Just loading it with weight. So lower, it's going to be a little harder. Higher, it's going to be a little bit easier, a little bit kinder. You choose. Arms nice and long. Don't let those arms sag. Keep them high, palms towards each other. Last breath. And release. Grab your blocks or whatever you're using. Straighten that front leg, listen to your body. So take a breath. And as you move, we breathe and listen. So block stacked under your shoulders, lighten the fingers and hinge from the hips. Flex that front ankle to add. If you've got tight hamstrings, your knee might be slightly bent, it's fine. Absolutely fine. Deep breath in, brighter home. And release. So reset to where you were. This time you can either do it again or tuck the back toe, lose the rear knee. Power. Push that rear heel down towards the earth. Want some power and some strength in that back leg. So again, you can do one arm or t'other or both together. So take a breath, make your decision, and as we breathe, we move. So higher, it's going to be a little easier. Just watch you don't dump too much into your lower back, into your lumbar spine, or bring it forward. Load it with weight. Just keep that front knee over your ankle or behind your ankle. Don't your ankle in hyperextension. Stand with strength, with purpose. Lift those arms, don't let them sag. One more breath. And release. So again, step that back foot in enough so you can get your heel to the floor. So step it in, partial block. I'm going to reorientate. So partial block, around 45 degrees, thereabouts. Distance is up to you. I mean, quite often we say the same as our wrists, if our arms are in sort of a warrior pose, warrior two pose, but it's up to you. Use your block, use your shin. If you've got the flexibility, come to the floor, but I want you to create a little bit of space in these lower ribs. So again, you can take your right hand to your hip and just open through the chest. Relax the shoulders. Get that heart up towards the sky, that top row of ribs. And if you want to add your right arm, see if you can stack your arms. Modify your block position if you need to. 3 to 5 breaths. Either looking up, you can challenge your balance a little bit more. If you're feeling a bit more grounding, you can look down. Modify that block if you need to. Relax. Legs are nice and straight and powerful. Again, if you've got tight hamstrings, you'll always bend that knee. It might be a little bit bent anyway. It's all about the journey, remember, not the destination. Deep breath. And close. Back to where we were. To a low lunge. Hands shoulder width apart. Lose the rear knee. Take a breath. And as you exert into your plank, check your posture, take a breath. And with or without the knees, push off, elbows in, chaturanga, elbows 90 degrees, step the feet, cobra or full upward facing dog. And breathe. And from here, you can bring your knees to the floor, big toes together into your child's pose. And release. So that last bit was fairly challenging, or I hope it was. If you want to revisit it and do it again, feel free. I know I said it would be a fairly relaxed, restorative class, but I wanted to throw in a couple of challenges. So this bit is relaxing. We're going to climb our mat into the hardest pose of all, Shavasana or corpse pose. All about relaxation and just observing your thoughts, what you've learned, what you want to improve upon, and just take a minute for yourself. So from your downward facing dog, just going to stretch out those hamstrings a little bit more. Just going to walk the heels of your feet
towards the heels of your hands, baby steps, just an inch or two at a time, just walking the heels in until the heels of your hands lift. And when they do, you can just hang. I've got a torn hamstring on one side, hence why I'm struggling. And just soften to the knees, just bring your torso onto your thighs. You can rest your hands on there if you want to, or you can bring opposite hand to opposite elbow and just let gravity pull on your spine. Your head weighs 10-11 pounds. And you can draw the infinity symbol if you wish with your elbows. Just feel the release. And reverse direction. And see if you can straighten those legs, paddle the feet, use your blocks. You will need to, want to. And then from here, feet hip width apart, so you're not sure if your feet are hip width apart, typically 2 fists. Bend those knees if you want to, take a deep breath in, reach for the sun. And as you breathe out, feet a little bit wider than your hips, external rotate, my head's disappeared, don't worry about it, it'll come back in a bit. And we'll go straight into a yogi squat, so straight into Malasana, so elbows towards your knees. You could always sit on a block here if you wanted to. Just open through the hips. So shoulders back and down, create some length in your spine. Not going to be here for long. Always grab and sit on a block or two if you need to. It's absolutely fine, that's what they're there for. So you could, if you wanted to, you could gently with your elbows, just gently open your thighs, move around. One more breath. And a way that works for you, we'll come down to the floor and just lengthen through your body. And we'll come down to the floor. So I'm just going to reorientate myself. And if you want to bring right knee to chest, let's rotate through that ankle and reverse. And take your left hand to that right knee, you can open through the chest with your other arm, so bring your right arm to the floor, glue your shoulder blades to the floor and just pull gently that right knee over your body towards the floor. Want to look the other way, feel free. Going to reorientate myself. And come down to the floor and then just bring your right knee to chest. And you can grab it with your hands, either back of your thigh, onto your shin, just gently pull it towards your chest. You can rotate through that ankle. And reverse direction. And then take your left hand to that right knee, your other arm goes wide, glue your scaps to the floor, and just gently take that knee over your body, towards the floor. You'll feel it in your lower back. Just reset the spine. A few breaths here. So as you breathe out, just consciously relax. So try and get rid of the stress and tension. We call it finding your edge, so it might be uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be painful. Obviously, be mindful of any injuries you may have. You may need to modify or avoid an exercise altogether. Take a deep breath and bring it back to centre. And swap legs. Lengthen through that leg. bring your left knee into chest. Again, just gently pull it in. Relax the shoulders. And as per before, just gently take that left knee across the body, gluing your scaps to the floor, listening and respecting your edge. And if I go a little bit deeper, look towards your left hand and just soften and relax and breathe. Just 3 to 5 breaths. If you want to stay longer, you can. Remember, it's your practice. And back to centre. I'm going to lengthen into Shavasana, our corpse pose. Relax those shoulders. Relax the jaw. And just breathe fully and deeply. You can push your belly button towards the ceiling. Fill your lungs, that thoracic breath. And right into the top of your lungs, right top of your chest, that clavicular breath and hold. And as you breathe, just release, relax, and let it go. And keep breathing. And as you breathe, just seek out any areas of tension in your body, and as you breathe out, let them go. And just stay here for as long as you need. So breathe in through the nose. Your breaths may get shallower. Seek out any tension, your eyes, your shoulders, your feet, wherever it is. And as you breathe out, just consciously let it go and let gravity be the only force on your body, pushing you, pulling you into the floor. If your mind starts to wander, you can bring your thoughts back to your breath. Or you can observe your thoughts, just don't latch onto them, don't react to them, don't own them or try and control them. But if it becomes too much and you're feeling too distracted, just bring your awareness back to your breath. And as you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, it's going to shift you to a parasympathetic state. It's a very calm and relaxing state. We call it the R&D phase, the rest and digestion phase. It's the complete opposite of that stress response, that flight or fight response. This is the complete opposite, which is why it's quite difficult. Just take a few moments for yourself, 5 to 10 minutes for yourself. Just focus on your breath, your thoughts, and letting go of all stress and tension. So you stay here for as long as you feel you need to stay here. Keep breathing fully and deeply, and hopefully I'll see you again. Namaste.